Hell of a day 2 here on, well, day, I don't know, Project Leviathan. Working on swapping a rear axle, cleaning this mess up, trying to make a decision on this parallel turbo nightmare, steering nightmare, degreasing nightmare. Frame rails ready to build some whatchamacallits, what are them things? Motor mounts. Okay. So, this is what I did for the rear axle swap. This might help somebody out here putting one of these. This is a 95 F250. Probably the same as an F350, I think. I don't know. But what I'm doing here is that is a 34-inch frame in up to like 78. This is obviously way bigger frame and everything. So the job's already done here. What I ended up doing was cutting these bad boys off, scooting everything in 2 inches to a 40 3/8 center to center, which is this relic here, which is for sale. But a lot of you are going to scream at me, why are we leaving these packs in? Why are we leaving a 1973 pack in? Well, number one, the donor truck had broken leaf springs. So I didn't get a set of donor leaves out of the 95. So I've got these. They're pretty neat. I mean, they're good for what I want to do. They're fine. So they're in. Down the road, I'm planning on swapping these perches, springs out of this and putting maybe something like early 2000s Ford in with a way bigger pack and gooseneck capabilities and all that fun stuff. But at that point, I would be doing a new axle set with 355s. This is a 410 rear. So it's kind of like the temp axle. So what I decided was the best course for now was to narrow these perches, use this pack. So basically, why I'm showing you guys this is if you're cheap, trying to put an OBS axle in a Highboy, this is what I did. And there's a little trick here. So the trick is that is a 2 1/4 wide spring. These in 95 are using like a 2 3/4, 3-inch spring, something like that. So I had to figure out how am I going to make this work without the spring pack coming apart, U-bolts, all that bullshit. So what I did is I'm gonna go get a set of 95 U-bolts because they got destroyed in the donor disaster. And what I did was I took the 95 U-bolt plate and I made these plates here. So all that's gonna do is take up the space of the 2 1/4 pack to a 2 3/4 pack. And then I notched this thing out. So I'm gonna use the original 70 block. So all my heights stay the same as far as lift and all that jazz. We're not lifting this truck, it's plenty tall. So basically, what this does, it lets you use a 95 U-bolt set. It lets you use the 70 suspension, and then the plates are gonna fill in this hole. So what I had to do was, these had like eyes on them to hold the thing. So clean that off. And then, so yeah, clean that off. And then down here, I can't see a thing in the camera, but that'll go in yonder in that notch. And you can see this will hold the pack in, and then my U-bolt will skim right up around here and fill in the hole. And that way I can use these U-bolt plates out of the 95 to save money. I can use all this suspension components. All I need is a set of U-bolts because everything is off the Titanic on both trucks. I've never seen rust in my life, and grease, and I just pick the worst things to do, man. What an idiot. But the hardest part of this whole thing was knocking off, and then I reused the perch. I was gonna make a perch out of plate and everything, and I was like, wait a minute, let's just knock these bad boys off. I filled in a little bit of the dishes from the grinder, but stacking dimes, get it, son. So basically what it does is it brings in the perch about 2 1/16 on each side. Don't quote me on that. But the center to center measurement is 40 3/8 on that truck, at least on my truck. So don't quote me on any of that. But basically by scooting these in, that U-bolt will come in right here. My plates will sit right here. I think it's gonna work. I will keep you posted. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't. And what I did is I just kept the stock pinion angle. Drive shafts is somewhere down the line here. Probably should have the motor in first, but I did a little bit of research and I did a little bit of guesswork and looking at this truck, and I think we're all right. So I just went with that pinion angle. The only other thing I need to do is on the truck in there, I got to move the shock mounts inward and angle them out a little bit, because right now they are straight up and down and it's just not going to work. These shocks are also from the dark ages. This whole thing's from the dark ages. So I haven't run into any messes yet on this swap, but I will keep everybody posted on if this idea works or not. I got to get some U-bolts though, but for a first time axle swap and getting it done in 2-3 hours and very cheap, I'm stoked. We'll see if it works.